So, good evening. It's Jazz. It's the West Ham Irons channel. And this is the West Ham Transfer Talk show. It's the second one we've done. And during this window, we'll try to get about 2 a week across to you guys and talk about what we think we need and then identify some players and then go through the rumours, which obviously at this time of the year are quite silly. So what we won't do, like some of the other channels, is kind of say we're going to sign certain players because we don't know till it happens. But what we can certainly talk about is some of the names linked and what they can provide for us. But more importantly, the viewers and the guests today, if they can sort of tell me who they would like personally, really. So good evening to everyone. So my kind of transfer talk, shall I say my number 2 or my captain, Ginger Andy Carroll's with me. How are you, sir? You all right?
I'm all right, thank you. Yeah? Everyone else all right?
Yeah, not too bad, sir. It's towards the middle of the week nearly. I've got a day off tomorrow, which I'm going to be meeting you, and we're going to be doing a lot of exciting things. So looking forward to that, really. Yeah.
Yeah, I look very forward to that. So, yeah, it's going to be a good day.
Yeah, and you got your famous transfer green book with you today, I think, with all your names in it.
Of course.
There we go. A bit of research going on in there. Great. And we also have got Mike. Mike, how are you doing, sir? You all right?
I'm good, mate. I'm really good. Do you realise, of course, that because I live in West Yorkshire and everyone up here thinks I sound dead Cockney? Like they're like, oh, you sound so Cockney. And then I come on here and I realise just how un-Cockney I actually sound. Do you know what I mean? People who still live in the area down there. I've got a notepad with me as well. There you go. It's not got anything useful written on it, but I've got a notepad just thought I'd show off about stationery, really.
See,
yeah,
see.
good. Hope you guys are well.
Well, what a great team I've got. Everyone doing their homework. Brilliant. Can't ask for more. And a good old friend of mine, but a debut for him on my channel. It's West Ham Online. How are you, sir?
Yeah, not too bad. I'm looking forward to this, actually. I do enjoy talking about transfers in the transfer window. However, after a week or two, I realise that half of them have suddenly ended up going to other clubs in the Premier League, and it just makes me even more sad, basically. So, but yeah, I'm looking forward to talking about it.
Great. And before we start, West Ham Online, I don't know if you want to tell everyone sort of how big you are online, mate, especially Instagram, how many followers you got and that kind of thing. And then we'll put your details up on the screen and then hopefully it'll get bigger and bigger, mate.
Yeah. Thank you, Jazz. On Instagram at the moment, on West Ham Online, we have 32,300 followers. West Ham Online 5 on Twitter, but Instagram is the main one for West Ham news and proper content, and that's just West Ham Online. So yeah, if you can follow either of them, that would be brilliant.
Twitter, I think we're about the same now. I'm going to have to start doing something now to pull ahead of you if I can. And these are Mike's details. So that's Mike on Twitter. Please follow him. You recognize him from his time with Hammers Chat in the past. And me and Mike will be doing a fantasy football show from next Monday. It will be twice a month. And then you might even see Mike on a Monday and Sergei, was it? They might be back. They might be back in the near future. So hopefully we'll see some of those comedy and great production skills Mike's got, really. Ginger Carroll, these are his details. So his real name is Curtis, but we'll refer to him as Ginger Carroll because you used to look like him, didn't you? You had long hair.
Well,
thing, yeah.
I wouldn't say look like him. It's just a mere reflection with a tint of orange. That's all. So people said anyway. I've just sort of adopted the name.
Can you do a Geordie accent though?
No way.
Ooh, not bad. Why, man? Not bad.
Why, man?
I look like a nutty professor, apparently. Loving that. I'll take that any day.
Steve's always full of comedy. And hi, Daniel. How you doing?
That's my mate. All right, Dan?
Thanks for tuning in, mate. This is a special lady, Alana. Alana will get you on next time. So hopefully everything's all well with you. Thanks for tuning in. Appreciate that, really. Hi. So back to the transfer window, and let's start with Mike. So what we want to first do, Mike, is In terms of positions, what would you try to improve in this window? I know the manager, especially David Moyes, it's very difficult. We see what we can do, and he seems to struggle in the summer as well. So, what do we need that could be fixed in January, mate?
We need a central defender and a striker, in my opinion. There was a lot of talk that we needed a left back, which I don't think we do at the moment. We probably do in the summer, but just to do with that, I think Ben Johnson's filling in brilliantly there. I thought he was absolutely brilliant against Leeds, and he can certainly fill in that, especially as I hear that Rock and Aaron Cresswell should be back in the very near future. So I'm going to say no to that. I think we should focus purely on getting a centre half and a striker. Equal need, if you would. The reason I say centre half is, even though I hear Zuma is also imminently back from injury, his injury and the fact that we've got no Ogbonna now for the rest of the season and we don't really know when he is back goes to show that we've got a real issue there. Because even though we have got two central defenders to stand there, they're not really that good. Sorry, they're just. I like Dawson. I think Dawson teamed with a really capable centre half is good. Dawson teamed as he is at the moment, no. And as for Diop, really not convinced whatsoever with him and Dawson as a pairing. So we would need someone there. We need a striker. Yeah, left-sided. Sorry, I should be absolutely clear. We need a left-sided centre-back. Thanks, Mike Hatcher, for heckling me with the correct information. When I say centre-back, a left-sided, preferably even left-footed centre-back, and that can play in that role, because it is really important we have that special position, and we really need a striker as well to play with or instead of Antonio. Voila, in my opinion. What do you think, guys?
I think you're bang on, mate. To be honest, it has to be a left-sided centre half. Has to be, because that's the one that we're missing at the minute. And you can tell a right-sided centre half cannot play on the left side. It doesn't look comfortable enough. Even when Kurt Zuma and Diop was playing together, and one of them had to shift on the left, even Kurt Zuma was not comfortable taking the ball on his left foot. And
the problem with playing Zuma on the left is you lose Zuma on the right. Zuma on the right is an absolute belting defender. So you've got a slightly less Zuma, haven't you, by playing him on the left? Everyone's losing here, you know? Exactly, you bang on. He doesn't look happy there at all, does he? And that's the thing. And
no one looks comfortable enough to take the ball on their left foot because they're predominantly right-footed. So it's like me. I'm predominantly right-footed. I will take it on my left if I have to, but if the ball comes towards me from whatever angle, I'm more likely going to position myself to take it on the right. But it's not always viable to do that when you've got 2 or 3 opposition players running at you with speed, trying to close you down. So, yeah, we need a comfortable left-footed player to play on the left side, and then Kurt can go back onto the right-hand side. We can have a more natural back four. Obviously, when the likes of Cresswell comes in, a natural left-footed left back, that'll be more ideal, obviously. And then,
and the thing is, I think people don't realise how much that impacts the fullbacks. Because you need that relationship to work. It really has a knock-on effect. Funnily enough, I'm completely left-footed when I play, but then that's a whole other thing. I'm way too old to play for West Ham. No, don't ask, guys. I can't do it. Too busy at the moment. But yeah, I always played it. It does really, really affect how the fullbacks roll as well.
Yeah.
So I think that's why we really, really need that. But you know, I'm glad you think so too. What about you, Jazz? Do you agree?
Yeah, I wanted to add to that to Diop. I think he's not very good. We're giving him a lot of chances, and I kept thinking, I know he hasn't had a chance next to Zuma. I think that's the last bit left for him, the last chance that if Zuma gets fit and maybe Diop next to him, being French and looking up to him, and Zuma can teach him something, that might be the last chance. But he's all over the place, mate, in terms of reading the game, marking people, being out of position. I would wouldn't like to be. So that's why when he first said centre back, then I was thinking we've got 4 already, but now I understand you'll be happy to release. Yeah,
but at the minute,
so Matt's just put that.
Yeah,
Let's just put that up there. We in real terms we don't, because we've not got Ogbon until God knows when. Definitely not for the rest of the season. Okay, so you've got we've got Diop and Zuma and what's his name? You know, the other one, Dawson. So that's three. Now we've got a lot of football left to play. We've got the league games. We've got the obviously the Europa League as well. And however far we go in the FA Cup, that's a lot of football left to play. Even if we get a decent one on loan with an option to buy, I can live with that. But the key thing is, none of those fit players are left-sided centre backs. We only had one, and he's out for the season. And that's a problem. If we were going to sell someone, I would sell Diop, because you would get a bit of money for him, not a huge amount, but you get something. You're not going to get anything with Dawson. Also, Dawson has his games. You put Dawson against the right team, you know, a Burnley-esque type team, and he'll do a really good job for you. You put him against a quick, rapid attack, and he struggles. We know that, you know.
Counterproductive, isn't it?
Yeah, but you put him against one of the sort of slower, bigger teams, and he'll do a great job
like
for
Chris Wood of Burnley.
Yeah,
You need that
do you know what I mean? He's
hard-hitting
ideal for that, or like Southampton strikers, or some people like that. He's good at ruling them out. He's good at marking them. You know, the players that are a little bit more predictable. The players that are raw pace, he really struggles with. You know,
That's it. Yeah. Well, he's what the wrong side of 30 now, isn't he? So.
And he was never the quickest defender either, but he can do a job for you. And if paired with a quicker defender, he's fine, you know. But I think it's like somebody can recover behind him. But I do really think we do really need to get someone in there. Were the Diop to Newcastle rumours true or just rumours? I have no idea. I tell you what, Lana, if we get another one in, I'd drive him there if you like. I don't drive, but I would.
They're just rumours at the minute, because you think Newcastle are linked with every Tom, Dick, and Harry at the minute, just because they can, just because the journalists can get a story out of it, I suppose. So they're going to be linked with it. I don't think Newcastle know who they want. They're just going out for anyone.
Yeah, it's a bit like it's a bit like when we had the Icelandic owners. We ended up with the wrong people because we're just desperate to get anyone in, and that's the thing. West Ham Online, you've been patiently waiting. Son, take it away. What do we need, sir, in terms of position?
Yeah, I agree with everything all three of you have said about the centre backs. I think another thing that needs to be mentioned when considering the fact that they need to be left-footed on the left side is the angles they play. When you're right-footed, especially when we're playing Ben Johnson as a backup left-back, we're cutting off huge parts of the pitch. All our left-sided midfielders are also right-footed as well. So we're pretty much ignoring all of the angles on the left-hand side, and that's also limiting Antonio's runs into the channel. If we got someone like Nathan Ake, who is comfortable on the ball when he can, and that way he can play the ball out to both the right side and the left side because he's naturally left-footed, I think it would add a lot of assurance to our defence. And I think even mentality-wise, when you've got a player of Ake's calibre and how comfortable he is on the ball and the experience he's got compared to someone like Diop, it just installs a bit of confidence into the rest of the defence and the whole team as well. I think when we're playing players like Diop and then we've got Masuaku back with him, we naturally just sink 5 yards deeper because both of them are terrible at defending. Diop's like a giraffe on roller skates. So we need a left-sided centre-back. I completely agree. I don't want to see us going for Nat Phillips if for the left-sided centre-back because he doesn't suit the role, in my opinion. He's a good defender, and maybe in the summer we can look for him. But I think we definitely need someone with a bit of pace, someone who is not too young, not too old, but someone who just can come in and make everyone a lot more comfortable. Allow Creswell to go forward, make sure the pitch doesn't get cut off angle-wise. So yeah, a left-sided centre-back, someone like a Nathan Ake or a Benoit Badiashile would be ideal.
Just to basically seal up the defence, just to make it more solidified.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I think Ake's form at City's worried me. He's looked out of sorts. I don't know if we should take that into consideration or not. Or
I'm like that with Ake as well. I'm not too sure. Don't get me wrong. He is a good little player, and he will probably get better and better. But at the minute, he's just. I watch him and I think he's just got a mistake in him.
He looks like Duke mate to me from set pieces, corners.
Yeah.
I think the thing is with Ake is he has shown on a consistent basis, mainly before Man City, that he can defend well. And if you've got all the qualities in, like he's got the technical quality, defensively he can be very good. He's got all the qualities to be the perfect profile for us, if you like. It's like I was saying it last night. It's a completely different position, but it was like when Tammy Abraham was leaving Chelsea and Arsenal fans were saying, why would we want Chelsea's third choice striker? But sometimes you've just got to look at the profile of what they'll offer to a different team. And Abraham would suit Arsenal perfectly, in my opinion, attribute-wise. And I think Nathan Ake, even though he can have a mistake in him profile-wise and attribute-wise, I think he's about as good as you're going to get for what we can get in the January window.
But being a
Is he
homegrown
available?
player,
Do you think
Go on,
City
Mike.
would actually let him go? I'd bite your hand off for him. I don't buy this. It's thing he's got a mistake. You know, I get that he can sometimes be a bit like have mistakes in him. I understand that, and I understand that he's got like issues with form at the moment. That's largely because he's only in and out of the team. If you give him a good run in the team, and also City aren't, while they've got all great defence, their way they defend isn't a defendery way. Does that make sense? They defend by having the ball. That's how they defend. They defend by having. They're not a real defensive unit like we would be. You can imagine Zuma and Ake. That's solid, you know. And he's reasonably quick. He can fill in at left back at a push. Not that we should really need him to, but he would be ideal. But I don't think we'd be able to get him. Do you genuinely think we could get him then?
Not without budget.
I think it will be tight, to be fair. I think if the best option we could get would be a loan with obligation, but the amount that City paid for him was like 48 million. I don't know why they paid that, but they're obviously, I think they're ready to cut their losses a bit with him, but if it's a obligation, then I reckon that's about the best we're going to get, but I can't see it happening really, but in an ideal world, that's who we'd get.
I think West Ham Online, what I'm finding is if we ever get close to signing anyone, then Newcastle, Villa are jumping in as well. It's nuts out there.
Oh,
isn't it?
yeah.
They're just around the corner.
It used to always be like that with Everton as well. It's always these mid-table clubs that have more money than us who suddenly they identify the players we link with and go, we'll have him.
Yeah. But you know the difference? They go out and get their business done. We sit there and ponder. And we look for a bargain, and it's like half of Moyes' transfer targets. He wants to wait until the summer, so they become a lot cheaper or free. So you pay for what you get. We need them now. We need them for the last part of the season, just for that last push. We're not going to get another chance between now and the end of the season to get more players in.
Am I right to say Ake is Van Dijk's Dutch central centre back pairing? Are they them two?
Sometimes, but you've also got De Ligt from Juventus as well. So I think it is. I think he is quite a bit more than you'd expect because De Ligt's had his injury issues as well. But I don't think he's their first choice sort of thing.
Okay. I mean, Ginger, we had a chat a couple of days ago, mate. I mean, has anything changed? Do you want to quickly go over what we need again for maybe some of the views who didn't see last week?
I think what we spoke about the other day, last time on the show, and what these boys have said already, main priorities, centre forward and centre back. And like I said last time, closely followed, maybe another left back. It all depends. All depends how well Cresswell's recovery is doing, because if he's going to take a lot longer than we thought, one more injury and we could be in dire straits, whether that's to Johnson, to another centre back, or even Kufal. Because I don't think we can rely on, definitely can't rely on Masuaku. And I don't think we can rely on Fredericks either if Kufal was to go out. So that's the possibility. But definitely first choice has to be a striker and a centre defensive.
Does anyone want to pick up this comment from Glenn? Any of you three can pick this comment up from Glenn.
I think. Well, I don't think you can do that personally, in my opinion, anyway. Creswell
a two.
couldn't play centre back in the back four, and that takes away his attacking attributes. And personally, I don't think Longolo is ready for the quality we want as well. So personally, I disagree.
I watched the youngsters last night, and Longelo, he looked mustard, like most of the back four, and Danchester's, Odebeku coming back.
Yeah, I'm happy about that. Yeah,
and obviously Connor Coventry coming back as well, scoring a goal yesterday. I think it's good times for our youth, but like you say, they're just not quite ready for what we need at the minute. We need to try and bed them in with the first team and get them more experience and get them playing with the first team players for sure, because they're not just going to be ready like that overnight. We need to get them ready, and if we don't do it, then no one else is going to do it for us.
Steve, I'm going to have to get you in the show with Mike, mate. You know, you two will get on fine. My feelings were, it was, again, I think we do need a few more things and we can fix in January. I am concerned about Souček's form, but that could be just me. I keep mentioning it. I don't see anything from him this season. I know some of my sort of colleagues have said it's due to the positional change, Rice to be a bit more forward. That's affecting him, and he's taken a hit for the team. Striker, we need two. I mean, someone like Lingard, attacking midfielder, and then obviously the main striker, and then Antonio can help as well. Left back, I think we need. Goalkeeper situation, again, I'm going to be controversial. I'm not happy with Fabianski long term, and especially not giving him another contract next season. Again, just too static for me, even though he's made some cracking saves. There's still concern when he's coming out for the ball and positioning and things like that, really.
And he doesn't release it quick enough, does he, Jazz? With Areola, you'll see he'll pick the pass with his hands immediately. With Fab, he's standing there running around his box like a lost rabbit for about 5 minutes, wondering what pass to throw.
There was one instance where I think the centre-backs forgot who the goalkeeper was because of changes for the cup, and they weren't expecting him to come out, and then he had a go at them, Mario, saying, listen, it's my ball, you get out of the way, and things like that. So back to you, Mike. What we do in the next stage of discussions is mentioning some names, really. So we've heard about the positions that you think we need. Any sort of wish list, any names you like out there that perhaps could be at reach in January?
No, and I'll tell you why, because that's the point. I would really like for a player like I have not heard of to suddenly rock up and be great. I would really like Rob Newman, as he is, to have done his job and just come up and gone, here is Ahmad Akabulakapum or whatever, or, a name you're going to struggle to say. And he turns out to be a great player. Do you know, a couple of seasons ago, when Souček rocked up, we went, who? And then he played against Liverpool, I think, and we went, oh. You could tell in game one, he can play. He's good. And we all went, who the hell was he? I want that to happen again. I want them to go and do that thing again, because that's where value comes from. When a player you've not heard of, they've discovered somewhere, suddenly appears and goes, he goes in the team and he's great. And we've spent, 20 million on him. And, you could moan about Souček's form this season all you want, Jazz, but if we sold him, we get a darn sight more than we paid for him. I'm telling you now. That's a new feeling. We've been selling players at a loss for years, and to suddenly have players that are coming in and going up in value is a real shock. So I've not, and that's my thing. I don't want to know, because everyone very easy to see and go, well, there's Tarkowski, don't sign him. He's slow, ponderous, and right-footed. And then there's the other obvious ones everyone goes on about. What's his name? Origi. Like, he's all right.
People saying he's a Moyes type player. I mean, what does that even mean?
Yeah, he's all right. He's actually a really good. He's a good finisher, but and he runs the channels, but he doesn't set my loins on fire, to coin the song. Do you know what I mean? It's just like it's just I want someone to rock up and we go, yeah, how's this guy? And then he starts delivering. And I'd love that. I'd really love that. I think so that's what I'm hoping for. I don't think we need an attacking midfielder, by the way. If Ringard becomes available and we go and get him, then I'm really happy with that because he's almost a striker. He plays off the striker, doesn't he, really? I'm cool with that. But I'm really excited to see what happens with our rest of our attacking midfield options at the moment. Especially with Vlasic coming through and starting to look like the player we thought he might, hoped he would be. And the last few games, he's really started to look useful. And I'm like, yeah, let's get him. I think Ben Rama should be worried about Vlasic's form. And that's what you want.
Yeah.
You want that competition for places. You know, if you bring in another attacking midfielder, okay, with Lingard, it's slightly different. But if we bought any other attacking midfielder, who are you going to drop? Genuinely, who are you going to drop at the moment? I mean, it's good to have options. You're not really going to drop Bowen. Lanzini started to look really muscly.
Yeah, like a new
to
signing,
me,
Mike.
right?
Brilliant. Yeah.
And you've got Vlasic and Ben Rama. Vlasic has still got to really prove himself, but he's beginning to get there. Ben Rama, I think, flatters to deceive a bit, but he has his moments.
Got 4 hours as well, who's a workhorse.
And a really good quick passer. The second goal was that we scored against Leeds was a really wicked pass from Frenay. That's something Lanzini doesn't do. Lanzini's a carrier, you know, and he can pass the ball, but he's more of a carrier. That quick release, that turning pass that he laid off for Antonio was a typical Fornals spring out of defence move, and we like that. We've got a lot of options there that I like, and don't forget, this isn't a rubbish team. This is a team that's doing well. So I don't think we need a huge overhaul, but we clearly need another forward, and we clearly need a central defender. But hey, so surprise me, West Ham. Come on, it's like Christmas. Let's unwrap some new players.
Yeah, let's see.
Not in a sexy way. That's wrong.
Just want to quickly go around to everyone again, starting with West Ham Online. Alana's comment saying, "Do you think everything will be done really late again in the window and nothing up to the last few days? You think, or week?"
Yeah, I do. I think that will be the case. I think we'll make possibly 2 or 3 signings in the last 5 to 6 days. Apart from that, it's just going to be rumour central. The Sun is going to be having a field day. We might even see a few links to Romelu Lukaku. I don't think a lot will happen, to be fair. And if we don't get a striker in this window, I'm going to have to start asking Moyes if he knows what a striker is.
God, that would be shocking, mate.
Yeah, it's been a long while. It's been a year since Haller left now, and I've defended Moyes to the absolute death. But we need a striker now.
Ginger Carroll, what do you reckon, mate? Anything before the last week? Will we get anyone in? Or
I think Alfie's bang on about the Moyes thing. We've given him a year now. We've given him 2 windows. Well, this will be his 3rd, technically, because when we sold Haller, he come out and said, there's no one I really need right now. I don't just want to buy anyone for the sake of it. So I'm going to wait until the summer. He had the whole of the summer, did not do nothing. And the Krau and Vlasic, as we've spoke before, Jazz, we've also agreed that it was literally a panic buy last couple of days signing. It was a panic buy because we had just one other player. He needs to get his business done early, and of course the fans are going to get frustrated. They want to see progression. They want to see something happening. And if they are doing things behind the scenes and keeping their mouth shut, like we've been calling out for years, then great. Let's get the business done, release it, give the fans a bit something to cheer about. And we're all sitting here pondering indoors thinking what's going to happen, who we're going for, who's his targets. We need some sort of identity of what we're going for.
But guys, don't you think that's like down to Rob Newman as well?
Yeah,
we've got this guy's been brought in to do this. Do you not think it now comes down to him to come up with solutions as well?
Yeah, it is.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and then it's down to Moyes to say, right, yeah, I want him, and then it's the board to say, well, here's the money. So they've all got a big part to play. But
Do you know what? Do you know who I think we should get?
Go on.
Go on.
I think we need another striker to compete with Antonio. And I went and I watched 3 games of this Arthur Cabral the other day.
Yeah.
A bit
Oh,
sad thing to do. But
Steve loves him in the chat, Cabral. Steve loves him.
yeah, he looks like a very good striker. I'm not going to say he's outstanding or world class or all of this because I don't think he is. But in terms of what he offers, I think his hold up play is fantastic. He's very, very good in the box and in the air, which I think are the 2 main things you want. If they're good in the box and their hold up play is good, then that's a real start. He does like to drift wide a little bit, which can, in my opinion, from watching him in those 3 games, obviously it's not a big quantity of games to judge a player on, but I do think he comes deep and wide at times when he doesn't need to. But when the ball actually arrives to the box, he always seems to be in the right position. The way he readjusts his body is, you can tell he's a striker. Basically, he's got very good striker's instinct. So I want him. But I actually like, and this is one that I see. I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me here, which is fine. But as a backup to Antonio and Cabral, eventually I would like us to get Eddie Nketiah. Now, I know a lot of people do not rate Eddie Nketiah, but I personally think get him in a team like Brighton, team like West Ham, and he'll easily get double digits. I think in the box he's fantastic. If you can improve his link-up play just a little bit, I think you've got a decent player. And I think, I don't think you'll find many players better in the box than Eddie Nketiah. He's displayed it for the England under-21s. When he's played for Arsenal, he's still shown those instincts. And there's a reason Mikel Arteta still calls upon him to come off the bench today. So, yeah, I know a lot of people will disagree with me on Nketiah, which is fine, but he's one player who I look at and think a lot of people has the wrong idea about him, basically.
Ginger,
I
step in, son.
I don't disagree to an extent about him, but I just don't think he's for West Ham. Even at this moment, even if he was to get better, even if we bought him for the future, and I don't know, he could have been Mikel Antonio's understudy for a year and whatever. I just don't see him being a West Ham player. He's not done enough to convince me.
Yeah, I think even if you got him playing, I even think eventually he can sort of do the role that Martinelli does, where he plays out wide and comes inside. I just think his instincts at the back post. Someone's just said it there actually. West Ham United 57. Eddie misses open goals. Done nothing at Leeds on loan. Yeah, you're right. He did do nothing at Leeds on loan. I said this yesterday. I done a space on Twitter and said this as well. But he was like 19 years old then, and he had Patrick Bamford in front of him, who has once again is another striker who has proven a lot of people wrong. Eddie Nketiah will get you goals, and I think get him in the right system. As a backup, I think Palace, if it's true that Patrick Vieira is looking to sign him, then I just think it's another great young signing by Palace. And I think I will come back to this point in 6 months. I think a lot of people have got the wrong perception of Eddie Nketiah, just because as West Ham United 57 said days, he has missed open goals and things like that. You know, these players that become memes in the Football Network and in football Twitter and things like that. And I think Nketiah is one of those players, like what Lingard was, where he's going to prove a lot of people wrong.
Right, just want to catch up with some comments before we carry on. So yeah, forgot Ake can play left back as well. Good point, Mike.
One sec, Jazz. West Ham United 57. I did not compare him to Ian Wright. Alan, the Polish, Alan, you might know him, Polish on Twitter, said, it weren't even my words, he said he reminds him of a young Ian Wright in the way he positions himself in the box. And one, Ian Wright was not even in the Premiership when he was younger, so it wasn't an outlandish comment. And he didn't compare him to Ian Wright. He just said he's similar in the box, basically.
So Alana, she likes Areola like me. So I've got a feeling he's
I agree.
He perhaps might go back and we might get Johnson. I don't know that's the rumours at the moment, but we'll see.
I'd love us to get Areola. I think he looks really, really good.
Welcome,
By the
West
way,
Ham United.
I think Nketiah is really good as well.
Yes.
I think he's got a load of potential, and he has scored a lot of goals. And I know you're right. He's a mean player, and but if you put him in, we're a far more direct team than Arsenal. Both they are getting more direct, but it's in a more direct system, which we are. By that, I mean we transition the ball quickly forward, and he's running with the ball towards the goal, which we tend to do. He would be a really good player for that system. I hadn't thought of him before, though. I hadn't heard any rumours or anything, but I could see that working.
Yeah. No, West Ham United 57. Ian Wright came into the Prem when he was what? Does anyone know how old he was when he broke into the Prem?
He was 27, I think, when he first got his professional contract into the Prem.
Yeah, exactly. But people don't seem to realise that when Alan said it. So Ian Wright didn't play at a higher level.
He was playing lower league football up until he was like 27, 28.
Cabral, the Swiss league worries me because the last time, actually, no, wasn't that guy in the Austrian league, the one we sold to Celtic? What was that striker's name?
No, he was from the same club. It's from the same club. Yeah,
Yeti.
Yeah. Celtic knew. They found out it didn't quite work out for them as well. We got a good amount of money back for him, really. A few of the comments are mentioning that if it does go down to the last few days of the window, despite having two people in the scouting area, what does that tell us then? I don't know. Is David just delaying everything despite the information on his
tells us that everyone else has bought them all. Probably Newcastle.
Yeah.
Everything we go for is the longer we take, the more targets we're going to miss out on. Yeah. So if we've got targets and we've identified them, we need to act, and we need to act fast. We need to just bring them in. Stop playing games. Stop trying to save your pockets. Get them in now, because whoever you get now.
The thing is, Alana's got a point. But you just put that comment out there. Must be a reason why Moyes hasn't bought a striker. Is the guy he really wants not available? And I've got a feeling he wants someone that he thinks he can get in the summer. I think he approaches this with, I want this player, and then hasn't got a plan B when he can't get that player. So if I'm going to criticise Moyes for anything, it's not having a plan B. I think he does know who he wants. It's a question of whether he can get. Moyes has got a thing. He will say, think about this, right? I'm going to speak in support of him. He will say, we will only bring in players that are going to improve the team. It's a team that's fifth in the Premier League. Don't take some doing. You're looking at a top 4 striker you want to bring in. If you want to improve the team, you need a top 4 striker. You don't have to pay a lot of money for a top 4 striker. So we've got an issue here because West Ham won't pay top 4 striker money, will they? So we need to be inventive and come up with someone we can develop into a top 4 striker. But that's a hard call to make. It's very scared wrong, and we are famously good at getting it wrong with strikers.
Yeah, maybe Vlasic was plan C. I don't know.
Yeah, I agree with you.
Or D or E.
Good shout by Matt.
No one's going to let go a top 4 striker or a top 4 quality player in January. It's very rare that you find big transfers go in January, unless you are a big team and you can splash the cash or the wages. It's very rare you're going to find a big transfer in January. A lot of them are done predominantly in summer. So, and we've never really made a big, not from my knowledge anyway, never really made a big transfer in January. I've never really made one in the summer.
Yeah,
we bought in Suchek. We bought in Bowen in January.
Lingard.
Yeah, I mean, they're big to us now. I mean, like in terms of caliber of the player, no one really knew who Souček was. Obviously, he's turned out great now, and we're grateful. But we've never really been that team that goes out and identifies big targets and goes, you know what, here's 60 million for a proven top quality striker.
Ginger,
You
what
could
about this
argue
K?
Hilaire, but
What
he only
about
done
this?
it for one season.
Yeah. What about this K Moore Cardiff? Ginger, has he been on the scrapbook? You looked at him quickly? Been linked with
No,
him,
I've not
apparently.
really come up with.
No.
No,
Oh.
not really come up with it. I've seen his name
Did you?
once, and I've not.
I hope not.
I've not delved into him.
Hope not. Yeah, I really do hope not.
West Ham line. You want a question from Matt? You want to answer it because we're doing okay. Do you think you're not in a rush?
Do you think no? Yeah, I do think that, Matt, and I think the same last year. That's why I think in general Moyes isn't in a rush because he said it in the interview with ITV the other day. He doesn't want to splash the cash on players that he's basically haven't been scouted, big names. He wants to build up the club. He just wants to build the club up, and that's what we're doing. Gradually build until we get to the position that he wants us to be in. And I think I'm going to take a not a pot, but I don't want us to do what Aston Villa are doing. I think at the moment the way Aston Villa are doing their business, to the average football fan on paper, it looks brilliant. But when we actually look into it, is it the amount they've spent over the last few years on players who, when we look at them, they wouldn't get this money back now? Leon Bailey, who I rate, but 30 million. He doesn't suit the system. He didn't suit Smith's system. He can't really defend. You wonder how he really suits an Aston Villa side. Emi Buendia, I think, was a great signing if you were going to play him in the middle, but Smith was playing him out on the wing. Gerrard came in, played him in the right position, and now they've signed Coutinho. So they've signed Buendia for 30 million. He's not going to be playing in his natural position. Coutinho will come in for 6 months, and for me, Coutinho is a signing that will just hamper the development of that team. I don't think Philippe Coutinho is like Ronaldo to Man United. He'll look like their best player, but I think it will hamper the development of the whole team. And that's not what I want us to do, basically. I want us, and I think Moyes agrees, to gradually go out and pick players one by one who will put us in a different position to the teams above us who are spending a lot of money on a load of rubbish, basically. So, no, I don't think we're in a rush. And I think that's why Moyes is taking so long, which annoys a lot of the fan base, to pick his targets. And that's why sometimes when fans go, oh, we've not done the business yet, other teams are doing it early. I get that viewpoint, but at the same time, I think Moyes knows if he waits for the right moment to get the actual targets we want, we'll be in a better position than teams like Aston Villa and Everton who spend their money recklessly.
Yeah, I think Everton
Villa
spent a lot of
before.
money. Yeah.
Villa done it a couple of seasons ago. Brought in 9 to 11 players. Couldn't gel, and they all went down. They spent. Oh no, sorry, it wasn't. It was Fulham. Fulham spent
exactly. Yeah.
100 million. The year that we spent 90 million or whatever it was, they spent 100 million on 11 brand new players. They couldn't get them to gel, and they went down.
Yeah, it's just stupid, isn't it? For me, the best way of, if you're coming up, going off topic a little bit, but if you're coming up or you want to stabilise as a team like what we've done, go and look for young players who have the right mentality, and you can't really go wrong.
Yeah, I agree. I agree with that.
Yeah, a lot of comments on Nketiah. I think Matt. I think that's the one. Yeah, loads of different ones going on there. Ginger, do you want to pick one name out your scrapbook, and we'll begin to put these stats up and see what people think, mate? I've got a few, but
What do you want? What do you want? Do you want a striker or do you want a centre back?
Striker, I like strikers. Yeah, striker.
Let's see who I can put out, because the obvious one that's been doing the rounds. You've got Patrick Schick.
He was on my list, mate. Yeah, let's get him. Let's get his stats up, mate.
Striker plays for Bayer Leverkusen. He's scored 4 in 7.
Slow down, slow
And,
down.
and in the Euros, he bagged 5 for Czech Republic. And 2 of them were against Scotland. One, if I remember rightly, was a header, and the other one was an absolute worldie, audacious attempt, but it was a banger. I don't know if you remember much from Euros.
I remember it. Yeah,
I used to watch. I watch as much as I can. I just love football, so I'll just watch football. And yeah, he impressed me a lot through the Euros.
yeah, he is a good
He's
player,
one
isn't
of
he?
Czech Republic's star men, to be fair.
Yeah, I liked him, mate. Yeah, good height. 17 goals in 33 games for his country. Again, yeah, he's from the country we've got a good few players from. Yeah, Roma, 8 goals in 58. Yeah, it's kind of not there or there. Then 30 and 55 for Leverkusen. West Ham Online, what do you think, mate?
I think he actually said in an interview. I saw this on Twitter, so take it with a pinch of salt, but it was from a reliable account usually. Apparently, he said in an interview he was asked about West Ham because of the Czech players, and he said that we wouldn't suit him as a club, or he only wants to join a club better than the one he's at, or something along those lines.
Well,
But
it's funny you should say that, because he wants Champions League football, and if he can get it, he wants Champions League football with Bayer Leverkusen. So he doesn't want to change teams if he really has to, unless he really has to.
Yeah, exactly. And the only
He's
worry
happy.
for me, if we did get him, is the I think there needs to be serious look into this Bundesliga now. I think it's more of a farmers' league than Liga, and all of the players that are coming over from it end up absolutely flopping. And if you compare his stats at Roma to his stats at Bayer Leverkusen, it's quite astounding, really, isn't it? The difference between the two.
Yeah. I mean, the leagues are very different as well, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, I think
The Italian league is very poor.
He's going to be 26 in a couple of weeks, so time has gone for this guy. I mean, it's flown. Not bloody the end of the world for him, but he's not young, 26, and so he's got to decide what he wants to do quick, isn't it? Where his career's going to go before he hits his prime. Mike, do you know anything about him? He was quite good in the Euros, wasn't he? A lone striker.
He was good in the Euros, but and I thought if we were going to move for him, we would have gone last summer. We could have gone for him then, and if we were going to go for him, we would have gone then. But I don't know. I don't know if he's really the player we want. Someone with some pace, and he's not the quickest player. He's good in the air though, but I don't think he's got the pace. We really need someone who's got that combination of physicality and pace, don't we? As well as a finisher.
Yeah,
an all-rounder.
That's why. Well, Mike, this thing, Matt's put Ivan Toney's name up, and I saw him live, and I thought he was great at London Stadium when we played him. Quite a nuisance.
He's a really good player. He plays for the team as well. That's what I like about him. He's a really good team player. He brings people into play. He terrifies defenders. Yeah, he draws defenders to him and lays it off to the people that those defenders have left free because they're so drawn to him, He would be ideal. There is no way Brentford would sell him in January.
No, not at all. No,
he's very clever.
Not
great positioning. Yeah. But then, Mike, this is the one where when he was Peterborough, I think Barry Fry, Sullivan's good friend, they should have done the deal back then, mate,
Yeah, I know.
Sullivan thought he was too much or something for a League One player, didn't he? It was about 4 million.
There's nothing more Barry Fry can do.
He probably thought he had to pay for his travel as well. You know what Sullivan's like. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I wouldn't have been surprised.
Welcome to the show, new person there.
I'm not sure on that comment, really.
I went to the West Ham Brentford game at home, and every time he come forward, he sort of made me kick myself a bit because you just know what he can do, and he's that young, hungry sort of type player that you give him one chance, half a chance, and it's in the back of the net. And he is a quality player. He's quick. He knows how to turn a defender. He'll know you're there without even feeling for you, looking at you. it just uses his natural awareness, spatial awareness around the football pitch. And I think for someone that's so young, that's developed so well already, yeah, he's not going to be cheap, and he's not going to be easy to get either. Like Mike said, Brentford, I don't think Brentford will let him go. I don't even think they'll let him go in the
completely
summer.
agree. Yeah.
He's too big of an asset. Now they're in the Premier League, they're too big. Whereas before, when we had the opportunity to get Ben Rama, they were still in the Championship. They just missed out on the playoff final. So they could probably think, you know what, we'll loan him, see how he gets on. And then all of a sudden they're doing well again, and then they get promoted. As soon as they got promoted, I knew they wasn't going to entertain anyone for Ivan Toney, and certainly not now during mid-season. You'd be stupid to. If West Ham done that, I'd be fuming.
Yeah.
Like we did with Haller.
I just want to go to Steve's comment here about Tony's goal record, because I think I saw a massive analysis piece on him the other day. Even Tony, he's only got 4 goals this season, 2 non-penalty, but that doesn't tell the story at all. It really is not his fault that he's only got 4 goals. As I think Mike said it, he does a great job for the team. He's basically, Brentford have actually played quite negatively this season, which you can expect. They need to survive, and Tony's role hasn't been anything like it was last season. He's been coming deep, winning the aerial battles. His layoff play is brilliant. He hasn't had a lot of chances, and that isn't a fault of his positioning. This is the role he's been told to play. He's scored goals his whole career. Make no mistake, if you put him in a team, in a system where he can do all the layoff play and also get the chances like he would for us, he'd score goals. And I think that's what good scouting is. When you actually look at his average position for Brentford, it really isn't his fault that he has only got 4 goals. It's just because of the way he's been asked to play.
Absolutely, I totally agree with that.
And what about this guy, everyone? Nesri from Morocco, 24.
It's just like a bad smell that won't go away.
Sevilla he plays for.
Good player, but that rumour again is just like a bad smell that won't go away. We had an opportunity to go out last summer and make a statement and try and get him. Whether we couldn't legitimately, or whether that was just an excuse, I agree. We'll wait and see. But I think if we really wanted him and we was going to get him, we would have got him.
Yeah, let's go for the comments. I think James will be joining us shortly. Right, let me put a name up there from my list, and this is a centre back. I went through a few of them we linked with, and I'm going to go back to.
It's not Abdou Diallo, is it?
No, it's this guy. I think this is the one, mate. The more I look at him, the more I like him. The more I just think he'll be fan favourite. I like the aggression, no nonsense. Good age, 24, 32 caps, Serbian. I think he's good. So, what do you guys think?
Is he left-footed?
No,
that's the key thing. Yeah, he needs to be left-footed. Des.
He's right-footed, I think.
Oh yeah,
Can
I think
he's
so.
left foot?
I didn't ask him last time.
No, I should have rang him up, Jazz.
Yeah.
He scores the odd goal, 13 goals, 1 assist. Not bad.
Yeah, but if he's sort of left-sided defender, we don't need him.
Yeah.
If he's a natural right-footed player, but he naturally plays on the left side of a centre-back pairing, then I suppose that will do. He is a decent player, don't get me wrong. But will Fiorentina want to let him go if it's rumoured they're letting go, what's his name, Vlahovic? I mean, Arsenal have put in another strong bid for him, including Torreira going the other way, and 58 million it's reported for Vlahovic. Now, if they get rid of Vlahovic, are they going to want to get rid of one of their centre-backs as well?
Yeah. Depends on their aspirations, though, doesn't it?
West Ham Online, do you like Milenkovic?
I do, yeah. I wanted him over Zuma in the summer, to be honest. And maybe now.
Maybe
Yeah, in hindsight, maybe not, but I think Milenkovic would have been just as good for us as Zuma is. I think now we shouldn't go for him as a first choice because, as the guys have mentioned, he's not left-footed. I think he's one for the summer, really, if we still have a problem in that position. But I think he's better on the ball than Zuma by a long way. But defensively, I think Zuma's probably quite a bit better, which is what Moyes preferred, and I can't blame him for that at all.
But does anyone know what happened with all that saga when he came down for the medical and suddenly the deal just went flat due to, what was it, agent demands? Or do you think it's more about Zuma became available last minute and we switched?
I think it's just probably a smoke screen. And we could get Zuma, and it was probably an easier, viable option, wasn't it?
And then Spurs were involved. Do you remember he went over to Spurs then, spoke to them, and then again it went, I don't know what happened, mate. That's odd, that one. Mike,
Wasn't
do you
it
think...
something to do with his visa?
Is that
I don't think so.
No, I mean, he's from the same country as Djokovic, but I don't think got the same issue here. But well, there you go. I don't think so.
To put it down when we were in customs.
Mike, what do you think happened, mate? I thought we had him in the bag, and then suddenly he went.
I think what's already been said. I think Zuma became available. Moyes wanted Zuma. We know Moyes wanted Zuma.
Yeah.
And I think Chelsea were trying to get that other defender, weren't they? That they didn't eventually get. But Koundé, that's it. And then they obviously thought they were going to get Koundé, and they sold Zuma on the back of that, and then didn't get Koundé. So hooray! And then but the point is he became available, and that is why we ended up with him with Zuma. I think it was the right deal. I'm still, but he is a good defender. I'm not knocking him, But Zuma, an experienced Premier League defender, is what you're going to go for, isn't it?
Great, yeah, I agree. Yeah.
James is here. James, how you doing?
How you doing, man?
Sorry, I didn't see your message, man. I wasn't looking at my phone.
No worries, mate. No worries.
Yeah. So you can discuss anything what we've been talking about and add your views, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah. We need some players, gents. There's no two ways about it. We need some players at this club. Because we've got a busy 5 months coming ahead. Like, we've got Europa League, we've got Premier League, we're fighting for top 4.
Yeah, that's what we were saying.
What I don't understand is why is he differing about when he knows that? Because I heard what Mike said earlier. Mike 100% bang on the money. We need a solid centre half at this club to be with Zuma. But we should be buying a centre half in January to be with Zuma next season. Starting out like this is how it should. This is what it should be, and we're hesitating for some reason. I don't know why. I really don't.
Do you like Milenkovic or maybe one of the others we spoke about, or Ake was one we spoke about?
You have a preferred option,
but are Man City going to prepared to let Ake go when they've got Champions League, they've got FA Cup, they're fighting for the Prem. Pep rotates them all the time. I don't know. We need someone. But what's Rob Newman been doing for all these months? Do you know what I mean? Right? He's been on gardening leave for X amount of time. He should have a list drawn up of players to go for and go and get them. And for some reason, he hasn't. I just don't understand it. Yeah. I really don't.
Well, we don't know he hasn't, do we? We don't know that he hasn't.
It is only 11 days.
Yeah. And we're trying to keep it quiet as well. You could end up with a player suddenly appear, but popping up like magic from an egg, wiggling his little hand around, going. But I know what you mean. It is frustrating because.
But wouldn't you agree, though, Mike? Wouldn't you agree? But wouldn't you agree, though, Mike, that in all the months, like we've known that Bonner's been injured since Liverpool at home, we've known Zuma's been injured since Chelsea at home. Like we've known that these players have been injured. We have also got to deal with COVID. Now, if two of our centre halves catch COVID, who's playing centre half? We're going to have Kufau and Ben Johnson.
There is also an element to be said that you've had Rob Newman banging around, and really we should have had a player in the door on the 1st of January. Yeah,
I agree
because
on that,
he has known long enough. I'm just playing devil's advocate. Yeah, there is a point that we have known, and we could have done that deal and had that lined up to go. then. But I don't really. We do totally need centre half. I mean, we've all agreed that. Yeah, we totally do. So we're in a weird position. Like, why hasn't it happened? Is it happening? I really don't want this to be the last couple of days of the window, because at that point we've missed out for all those games, etc. And also the players take time to bed in. Just stop bedding in now.
Not only that,
But-
we'll start panicking and buying anyone that's available just to fill voids, and we don't need that. And that
But I
goes
think,
against
Mike,
what
you
we
made a
want.
good point that where you said that we're trying to keep it on the low a bit, and I think Moyes said it either. I don't know who the interview was with, but he said it yesterday or the day before about. I think it was an encouraging comment when he said we're trying to keep things on the low, because to me that said things are on the horizon, but we don't want them getting leaked. And I think that's only a positive thing. And eventually the fan base will probably get used to that.
Yeah, but also you've got to look at it with a striker. Someone said it earlier because I was listening to what you were saying. Haller got sold this time last year, and we still have not replaced Haller. We've had that window, we've had the summer window, and then we're back again to this window. So we've had 3 windows to deal with the striker situation, and we still haven't. And you got Yarmolenko on 115 grand a week, rolling about, getting 12 seconds of play. Like, I'm not being funny. I keep hearing this about the future, but the future is now. Like, because West Ham, Newcastle next year won't. If they stay up, they're going to come strong. Aston Villa with Gerrard, let's be honest, he won't muck about. They've just gone and got Coutinho. They're looking like getting Dina. They mean business. Arsenal,
business, but
yeah, I know. But at the end of the day, these teams are doing business because they want to progress. And West Ham are sitting with Craig Dawson, a £2.2 million player. No disrespect to him, he's a good player. But he should not be first choice at West Ham United Football Club. I'm sorry, but he should not. I know we've got injuries. He should be a fringe player. I agree with what Andy's saying. There, 100%. Right.
Yeah, he should be,
I must admit, right, he's done very, very well. He really has. But we should be looking at Kirk Zuma's partner for next season. Not like, I understand what you boys are saying about square pegs in round holes. We can't keep doing that. Like, Ben Johnson's played in every position this season in defence. Like, left back, right back, centre half, part of a three. Like, something's got to give, basically, at the end of the day. And to me, the fear I have is that come the summer, Declan Rice will be sold, right, for a lot of money, and they will use that money to reboost the squad. That's the fear I have, because that's why they're not doing nothing now.
Well, the feeling we had was that the new owner, he's topped up the pot, so to speak, but obviously in a good way, which we all wanted. We don't know who we want. We don't know how much money we got, which I think we all agree we wanted this situation a few years ago, and it has happened. But it's kind of now we're thinking, we do like the real Rumours.
It's frustrating though, Jez, because for the past few transfer windows, we've sold players, we've got players off the books, we've freed up wages, and we've basically created a nice little foundation for ourselves to go out and spend a bit of money. I think, what is it, the last 4 years, we've got a really poor net spend. I think it's single figures net spend in 4 years. That's shocking. We should be going out, if we're really serious about progressing, especially pushing on from last season, and now we're halfway through this season in a very good position in a domestic cup and a European cup, and pushing for the top 4. We need to go out and spend this money. We can't just wait.
It has to be said. You've got a good point. It has to be said. Buying in a position of strength is the way to buy in football. Like, that's the thing Newcastle have got. They can have all the money you in the world, which they basically have, but people are going to go there for no other reason than the money. While people will come to West Ham now with the chance of, well, they might actually go and win something. At least it's not a relegation fight, and there's European football involved. We're in the strongest position to buy than we've been for ever. Yeah, probably. Do you know what I mean? Like, because it's also, this is our second season of being a pretty decent football team. So we're showing consistency. We're showing some solidity. We're a good club. We're a good sell, to a player. if you've got a player that's ambitious and wants to go and do something in football. So we should be able to bring players in. I don't buy that. Oh, they don't want to come to West Ham. Why wouldn't they want to come to West Ham? Look at the team. Look at the spirit and the unity that team's got. Anyone can see
But are you
that.
surprised, though? Are you surprised, Mike, that we haven't signed anyone yet, considering that we are light in a lot of places?
Yeah, I am. I am
Yeah,
surprised. And I'm surprised because of the Rob Newman factor rather than the David Moyes one, because I thought we might have something lined up, because it is especially okay. The striker thing doesn't surprise me, because even though we all know we need a striker, I can say what Moyes is going to do. He's going to go the right one he wants isn't available. But we really, really, really need that centre half, and he's a defence. That's the thing. He's almost his pet. That defence. He must know that. He's screaming at him. You can't go. Oh, we can get by with Diop, and we can't get by with Diop and Dawson. He might be praying to God Antonio stays fit for the entire season, which would be some sort of miracle. But maybe he's thinking that. But no one can think we're going to get through the season with Diop and Dawson. Even if Zuma gets back, you're going to have to play him on the left, and you then lose Zuma on the right. He's not as good a player on the left as he on the right. So not only have you got a not as effective defender on the left, you've lost one of the best defenders in the league, in my opinion. On the right. So
in a natural position, yeah.
I think what Steve is saying here, Hardik Chahal has said, I don't know why we didn't go for Danny Ings, and Steve has said Danny Ings, no injury prone and too old. I agree. I think this is a reason why Villa have overspent, which we spoke about earlier. I don't get that 30-year-old Danny Ings, and they're spending 30 million on him. He's not pulled up any trees so far, and he's injury prone, and people are applauding it. I think if it takes another 10 days to get a young striker who Moyes believes in, providing he does do that, which we don't know yet, then I'd rather that than going for someone who's injury prone and old, like what.
Yeah, but I can understand that, West Ham Online. I can understand that to a point. But Ollie Watkins was a player that West Ham. Yeah,
he would have been great.
West Ham should have got in for him. There is strikers out there that West Ham just let go because they just didn't go for him. I understand with the Ings one, but we also have got to look at this, that Mikel Antonio needs to be challenged, and we need to find someone better than Mikel Antonio. And that is no joke. Like, Mikel's been good. He's done great things at West Ham, but the future is the next 5 years. And Mikel in 5 years will be retired. Do you know what I mean? So we need to go out and find a striker who's going to come in, learn, get better, and then eventually take over. Do you know what I mean? So
I
got to learn his path first.
Watkins would have been perfect, absolutely perfect. I think he would have had everything for our system.
There's many players out there. There's many players out there that West Ham have just let go. They've gone on to other clubs, right? I understand it. Like, there's being sort of cautious in your signings, but sometimes we've just got to go out and get these players. Like how many times over the last sort of 4 years have we seen it? We've seen it with Baka as a striker. We see it with Maxi Gomez. Is he coming? Is he not coming? Is he coming? We've seen it with other strikers, right? We've seen it with the Jesse Lingard situation, which is getting beyond a joke, right? Lingard should already be here. Right?
Do you think he'll go Spurs? Do you think?
Do you know what, Jazz?
I knew they'll be in for him. I knew they'll be in for him. Mate.
Right. I'm going to say this right now, yeah. If he goes to Spurs, yeah, it's all on the board for me, and it ain't on the player no more.
Oh yeah, the board, he's willing to move, isn't he? Yeah,
he's willing to go, mate. And the way I look at it is, I've had debates about Lingard. People saying, "Oh, we don't need Lingard." Listen, how can you not have a good player like that in your ranks? Like we're West Ham United. We take anyone who's decent.
And then he changed a lot of people's hearts. No one liked him because of his social media side, because he's childish, blah blah blah. But that's not his football. That's irrelevant to his football. And then when he got here, he showed us what he could do, and now everyone loves him. And I think we'll be stupid if we don't get him. And if we let someone like Spurs or even Newcastle take it up, I mean, I don't think he'll go Newcastle.
Well, Spurs are looking at him. Spurs are massively looking at him there. They really are.
Yeah,
Do they even need him?
No.
I think they're just doing it to annoy us. If it
No,
happens.
he's cheap, isn't he? 5 to 10 million fee. They'll pay that.
Which-
Levy's tighter than our lot, isn't he, James?
Right now, he is, but then you look at it like this, right? And I used it earlier on my channel. I turned around and said, when Freddie Canute was loaned to us back in the day from Leon, I think it was, right? He come to West Ham and he tore it up on loan. And we couldn't sign that geezer up quick enough, Freddie Canute. Well, I can't remember where he come from loan. I think it was Leon. I'm sure of it. But he tore it up. I've never seen West Ham loan a player and then not go in for him, have the desire to go and get this man out of Manchester United. Like, even now, like, they should be knocking on Manchester United's door saying, well, how much do you want for Lingard? And
yeah, but
yeah,
I think his brother has been a bit of a like some of the things he said on social media to West Ham pages and things like that. Judging by what actual other people are saying as well, he's been a little bit misleading. I think
is that typical. What do you call it? He's a typical agent though.
Yeah,
trying to stir up the pot, trying to get a bidding war going. If you can get a bidding war going, then it means more money, because the more teams or clubs or whoever's in the pot bidding, the longer it's going to go on, the more stacks you're going to get. So he's just doing it to benefit himself, really.
yeah.
And I think that's it. It's a shame because people like that ruin football.
But it's like anything, though, isn't it? Though it's like anything, lads. Let's be honest. If you're in business or you've got a job or a career, and you've got two business owners, one of them really wants you, but the other one don't, you're going to go for the one who really wants you, innit? Like, not the one who don't, sort of thing. And at the end of the day, in life, like he's got to feel that he's wanted at West Ham. And to me, I look at it. He should already be here. He should have been here in the summer, and we're still talking about him now after a year.
I don't know. I'm numb to Lingard now. If it happens, we'll all smile, be happy, brilliant. If it don't happen, I'm not too bothered. I think there's other positions that we need to prioritise before Jesse. And he was probably my favourite player when he was here. But I think with Vlasic coming into form and the amount of right-footed attacking midfielders we have, it isn't anything to worry about to the extent of where we need a striker and we need a centre-back before Lingard. And they should be the main worries, in my opinion.
Listen, by all means, if we can go out and we can get him and we can secure him tomorrow and not waste any time in this month of getting him, then great, do it. I wouldn't want another scenario of where we waste a week or two trying to get Jesse Lingard.
But there's people like Origi, for instance, who I've called for a long time. I've said get Origi at West Ham, because I think he could do something. I think he's wasted at Liverpool. I think he plays a part. Like, I think he's only played like 37 games or 38 games all the time he's been there from the start. Now, to me, he's young. He's 25, I think he is 26. He plays for Belgium, and he's only going to cost you between 7 and 10 million. But West Ham, it just seems like, to me, I just don't understand what they're looking at. I don't know what players Moyes is looking at that he thinks that he can't get. Like El Nesri, we've had El Nesri, we've had Baka in the past, we've had Maxi Gomez in the past.
What about Boulaye Dia? Remember him? Do you remember Dia?
The geezer from France. Another one, we had Daka, who was getting linked with.
Oh, he's been great.
Yeah.
Another one, we had Chan last in the summer. Another one who went to Wolves and done pretty well. I know he's injured at the moment, but he's still a decent player. It just seems like we're relying on Mikel Antonio, no disrespect to him, and Yarmolenko.
Do you like Traore, James, even though he's been a bit off form? Adam Traore.
He's not a striker, is he? That's the only problem is with it. Traore, how can we go and sign someone who's doing nothing at Wolves? Like, don't get me wrong, he's a good player, he's decent, but is he going to change West? Is he going to change West Ham?
Yeah, it's gone off the board.
James, I have a question, actually.
I know
what you're going to say.
It doesn't seem like he suits West Ham at this precise moment. I think Adama Traore, although he's not really been in form and he's not done so great, yes, he's not an out-and-out centre forward. He's a winger, but we already know that Moyes likes a winger turning into a striker. And Artovich It was his first project, and then Antonio. And I think someone like Adama Traore would suit West Ham.
But
For
wouldn't you agree
I
though?
don't
But wouldn't you agree though? Who would you rather have, Traore up front or Bowen?
Bowen.
So
Yeah, probably
there's your
Bowen.
answer.
And then, but then Traore can also cover Bowen, so he's there as that option. And I think he's a better option, even if he's on the bench. I think he's a better option as an attacking option coming on than Yarmolenko.
Mike, you want to say
I
something?
wanted to ask that question to you as
I
a
just
coach.
don't.
What
I
do you
just
think
don't
about?
see how Traore improves the first team.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I agree.
Not now.
I
Yeah.
really do agree there.
I just don't see how he improves first team. And don't forget, this is unusual for us. I'm still getting used to this whole transfer window when we're not rubbish. Yeah, we've got a decent team, but we need centre half. We know that, and we need a striker who will improve the first team when he comes in.
Yeah.
That Traore just doesn't do that for me, I'm afraid.
What do you think of Ben Brereton Diaz from Blackburn?
I like him.
I'll tell you what,
again,
with him, it's such a tough one, mate. It really is. 4 years ago, he played for Nottingham Forest against Arsenal and beat Arsenal in the FA Cup 4 years ago, the other day. In 4 years, he's become a Chilean international, and he's banging goals for Blackburn every sort of single week. The problem we have with it is, can he do it in the Prem?
Yeah, and it could be a purple patch, couldn't it?
It could be a purple patch. Look at Armstrong. Everyone was calling for Adam Armstrong. Don't see him at Southampton no more.
He's not good enough. Yeah.
And the way I look at it is, I know I was even one of them saying, I think Armstrong should come to West Ham. I think he might do something. You don't see nothing of him no more. I think with wingers in the Championship, you can get away with it. I think you can to a point because they can learn. If they're young enough, they can learn. But a Championship striker to a Championship to a Premier League striker, 2 different levels, mate, at the end of the day. So it's a tough one.
Yeah, Harvey's my cousin. Yeah. He's a Liverpool fan. I think, Mike, we did a show with Harvey, if you remember, before the Liverpool game. So he says Origi's going to be difficult with a few of the players away on African nations duty. He recommends Nat Phillips if we're looking at the centre-back area. I thought he's okay. Yeah, I think he's all right.
It's just a footed thing, isn't it, again, Jazz? Look, we need a left-footed one, yeah.
Not a good player, but yeah, we don't. It'd be nice for the future, like for the summer. We went out and strengthened our team because make no mistake about it, we need to bolster our team anyway. We've got a lot of people that coming on to the wrong age of 30. Dawson's already surpassed that. For me, like James said earlier, he's got to be a fringe player moving forward. He's done well so far, but him and even Antonio soon, we're going to have to start fading him in and out of the team just to give him rest because he's at that age now where he cannot do it every single game.
He wants a striker, doesn't he?
Even he wants a striker. Yeah, he said he wants competition. It makes him play better.
West Ham Online, Frankie, my good friend, has put a couple of names in there. Any comments on the players he's talking about?
Yeah, Daka would have been perfect, as he said. But Myron Buda, I think he's stinking it up a little bit at Lille. He's not really met expectation. I think that would be a bit of a risk, and I don't think it's one we're willing to take. But the name there that I've seen, Jonathan David's one we've not actually discussed on this show, which I don't know, we've all forgot to discuss him. But if he was available, I think he'd be perfect. The only issue is he's played in a two striker system his whole career. That's the only issue. But he's both footed and technically good, and he's good in the box. So you can't ask for much more.
I think he's a phenomenally good player, that Jonathan David, mate. I think if West Ham was to go and sign players, go to Lille because they've got Botman, centre half, decent. They've got Jonathan Bamba, who's another one who's top draw. David, this Jonathan David, mate, is like highly rated, but for some crazy reason, it's like no one's touching him for some reason until the summer. I don't understand why.
I've heard he's a Moyes target, but he's a summer target. Now it's come back to that thing again, a summer target. Why are you identifying for the future and not identifying players that you need right now?
I agree. I really do agree with you, mate. I have to laugh because I do agree.
It's just it really infuriates me because it's all well and good saying we can have him for the summer. We know that someone like Jonathan David's going to be a big price tag, and he's not going to. I don't think he's that sort of player that will move in January anyway. But we need to identify targets that we need now. We've still got the rest of this season.
Yeah, that 15
saying about next year or fucking next month or whatever. But we need someone now.
He's liking
true.
our post now. He's liking our Instagram post.
It is true what you're saying, because when you look at us, we're fifth in the league, right? We're fighting for top 4. We're in the last 16 of the Europa League. We need these players now. If we're going to do something this season, we need them right now. Because let's be honest, if we fade this season, say we finish, say, 7th, we get to the quarterfinal of the Europa League and we get knocked out of that, and say, right, we get to quarterfinal of the FA Cup and get knocked out of that. Yeah, everyone say, it's been a decent season or good season to a point, but it could be better with strength. Yeah.
And we're in a position now to make it a better season. And if we just go out and Spurs it up, then, well,
I like it. Spurs it up. What a great expression. No, you're right. It is like, and it's the right expression to use. And no, yes, as I've said already, we're in a position of strength. We should be going out there and getting the players in. I know I've heard this still won't sell to the summer thing. A few parks, 50 million quid on their doorstep, which is what it says on there he's worth. They'd sell him. They'd sell him now.
Yeah. I think, Mike, what Frankie's trying to say, like me, if your budget is 50, 40 million, then we're in a situation where you perhaps blow most of it on one quality player rather than trying to spread it, really. To be fair, I mean, David doesn't buy too many players anyway.
If our budget is 40 to 50 million, I would be seriously worried, considering what I've said earlier about the terms of the net spend we've had in the last 4 years and the amount that we've clawed back, and we've only got 40 or 50 million. I would be literally.
The question I need to ask is, where is the ambition? That is the $1 million question. Like, West Ham, I've never seen. Listen, I've watched West Ham all my life. I'm 35 years old, mate, and I'll tell you what, I've never seen us this good in my life. I've seen us in '99 with Di Canio. I've seen us lose players in 2003 when we lost all the boys.
How did we go down?
All them players who went down. I've seen us get relegated twice, get promoted twice, and losing an FA Cup final. Right? For me, I just do not understand that we are 5th in the league and we are looking for the future, but the future should be now. Like the future right now is West Ham are 5th in the league. We need players to come in so we can fight for that top 4, because I just don't understand it. Look at Arsenal, and let's be honest, we've all over the last sort of 18 months, 2 years, had a little dig at Arsenal and saying that they're like banter club. They've got their stuff together now. They've gone and spent 130 million out on different players, and they are starting to look decent in the Prem, right? And then you look at Man United. Man United won't be this bad all the time. They won't accept it. And I just don't understand it. I really don't.
The most important question of the night has arrived. Do you get a free supply of Vaseline with Traore? And then my cousin taking a mick at me again. Favourite Mitrovic. Yeah, he's kind of a couple of years too late.
I think everyone will get one. I'll send one out with your season ticket. You get a free cut of Vaseline.
What about Mitrovic? My favourite. He's kind of a couple of years too late, isn't it, lads, for that one? I think.
That boat sailed a few years ago.
Does he play? Does he play the West Ham way though now?
No, Mike doesn't like him. Mike is too slow, isn't he, mate? I know you mentioned it.
He's way too slow. I'm quicker than he is. Jesus. He's a what I call a wardrobe striker, like Chris Wood.
Yeah.
You know those people.
I've seen Milk turn quicker than him.
Yeah, I mean,
wait, talking about milk, we're not going to get any best before dates at one supermarket. I don't know if you've heard the news. There'll be no best before date. You've got to smell it and then get on your way.
I don't drink milk. I'm cool with
stick to presenting.
I'm not even good at that, mate, but there you go.
Well, it's better than your day joke.
Let's have a look at Matthew Hope, I think Frankie's telling me. American.
Never heard of him.
Oh, I bet I'm looking at the wrong one. I told you I wasn't good at this. Yeah, I bet I'm looking at the wrong one.
He's only played one game.
Yeah,
Got
what
Sully's
a
name all
signing.
over it, that has, isn't it? Do you know what I mean? It really has.
Moyes is up for it. He's seen enough.
Simone Zaza.
Oh God, Frankie,
Anyone else? Do you
spell
remember
it for me,
Zaza's
mate?
first
Spell
touch
in.
for us was an overhead kick? I thought, oh my God, what a player. And
Let
then,
me-
What in the Juventus game at the first game at London Stadium? He come on, he scored a load.
I'm
And we
speaking
like,
that.
what a
Remember
player
when we
we've
lost
got.
4-2 to Watford? He got it on the halfway line and overhead kicked it, and one of our players went through 1-on-1.
Yeah,
and then after that, he was just horrendous.
he just died. I
Yeah,
don't know what happened to him.
I remember
Yeah.
it being at a game, going to the last game at the old Spurs ground, which he played in, right? And you remember before they closed their ground and did it all up flash-like. And he had a
Yeah.
shot, and his shot went off, not only did it go off for a throw-in, but it spun away from his foot so hard that when it went off, which was the other side of the pitch, it was further back than he was. It sort of spun off and looped, and it ended off the pitch further towards our own goal than he was when he took the shot. I mean, it really took some doing.
So what Mike's alluding to is, say if he was 35 yards out on the left-hand side, he's gone for a bender, but it's so wrong. It's bent complete other way, gone out for a throw-in, but also gone behind him. So it's gone not only 25 yards out for a throw, it's gone 40 yards out for a throw.
That's like one of my.
It was like my brother, I always used to call him Bent Foot Filipino because he used to kick the ball that way and he used to go that way. That was the same as Zaza's one there. Yeah, Mike. Right. I forgot about that.
Right, we're going to close.
I'm probably sure that happened. It was
I know it did. Yeah,
God.
I remember watching it live. Yeah.
We're going to slowly close down, gentlemen. It's been 1 hour 28 of bliss. It's been brilliant. Lots of knowledge. We could carry on for 10 hours the way it's going, but I don't want to take up all
Jazz,
your,
you had another
evening,
player.
man.
You had another player, and I've done some research on him. Yeah, he's a He's a centre back.
Yeah.
And he can play left back. But most importantly, he's left-footed.
Is it Diallo?
Yes, Diallo, Abdou Diallo, the PSG Senegal international.
AFCON. He's at AFCON.
What I noticed about him is he's certainly left-footed and certainly attacking is a reasonable strength.
It's rumoured that we are after or we're interested in a loan deal. Nothing's come out since, or nothing's come out to say it's a loan with option to buy or obligation to buy. They just said loan. And he does meet the criteria of what we need at centre-back. Left-sided, left-footed, and he can also play left-back. So it's cover there as well.
Yeah, but then we've been linked with another PSG guy, I think. Kazawa, 8 million. I don't know.
Yeah, you want to stay away from him, mate. He's mad. He's mad, that geezer. He'll get sent off every week. Can I ask you, lad, something? This is an interesting question I'm going to ask. Is why do you feel that we are like loan FC? Do you think it's because the owners are looking at it long term, that they don't want to be putting their hands in their pockets, knowing that in 2023?
I think
I don't think that's solely the reason, but I think that you'd be stupid not to think that. But I don't think that's solely the thing that they've gone for there. Because
it seems like over the last 2 years, especially the last 2 years, like we've loaned players before purchasing, and like in the summer we loaned Areola, we loaned Krell, we've obviously bought Zuma and Vlasic. It seems like to me we're quick enough to loan these players, but like we want to loan them before we buy them. It's like try before you buy something.
I think it is just so David Gold doesn't have a heart attack, because if they spend a lot of money at one point on a player and he ends up flopping, at least with a loan you can tell how good they are. And I think it's just to save Gold's health a little bit, if I'm honest.
I mean, just think, right? If it was any of our money, if we were somehow billionaires, would you want to spend or just throw away your cash willy-nilly like that, regardless? You wouldn't, would you? So you want to,
No.
but then that's when you employ a good backrooms team. You like your Rob Newmans and your scouting system, but you do it all properly. You build up your system properly. You build up your infrastructure of your club, and that's why you would rather. I mean, I would spend my money firstly on that and building an infrastructure and making sure I've got the right management team working for me to do all that sort of work, so I don't have to. I'm just a money guy. I'm just. You know
But
what I mean?
the problem is with that. The problem is with that. If you make West Ham better, the purchase on the club becomes higher. If that makes sense. Like, so if you invest, right, and West Ham progress, say like for instance, they go out and spend 60 million in this January window, and West Ham get top 4. That 60 million is peanuts compared to what they're going to earn in the Champions League,
but
like with revenue and things like that.
That's
but you still got to spend smart, don't you?
Speculate. You've got to speculate to accumulate. You've got to put more money in to get more money out. That's how business and gambling is done. Like, you can't win a bet if you don't put nothing on it. So you have to put money in to gain something back out.
The thing is, right, they loan the money and charge interest. So they make money when we and whoever buys this, say our Czech billionaire guy, will part of that deal will be to get that money paid back to them. So if they loan us, say they lend us 50 million, then not only would they charge interest, that gets paid back to them directly when the club's sold.
So it doesn't go back into the club. And their excuse is, well, it's cheaper than borrowing off a bank because you're only paying 4% interest now.
Regardless of the fact that just about every other Premier League chairman loans to the club interest free. I get this cheaper than the bank, but most other owners do the same thing, interest free.
That's because they've got the club's interests, the best interests at their heart, whereas Gold and Sullivan haven't, regardless if they think, oh, we're West Ham fans. No, you're not. If you're real West Ham fans, you would loan the club the money from your own pockets and not expect a single penny back in
But is the worry though? Is the worry now that come the summer, Jared Bowen's going to be looked at, and Declan Rice is going to be looked at, and if people come in,
price of success, that you have a good team, then people come. But you look at it, and I suddenly look at it this way: if someone's going to mind Bowen, they're going to have to be one of the teams above us, and I don't think many of the teams above us would need a Jared Bowen type of player. A lot of them want a Declan Rice type player.
Yeah.
We don't
they'll take
them
sort of players off of us to stop us from progressing.
You don't think Liverpool might be tempted with Bowen?
I've got Salah.
No, I think they will be,
James. Last time, guys, didn't we? It's like they don't need them. It's like what Chelsea used to do back in the day. They used to buy these players off of other teams because it was competition, but then they would sit on the bench and rot.
Yeah, I know, but when you look at it, they've got Firmino, who's really not doing a lot at Liverpool. They've got Jota. That's why they got Jota.
Minamino ain't good enough, is he?
Minamino ain't good enough. If Origi gets sold, I'll be honest with you, I do agree with Mike. Partly, I don't see him going Man United. I don't think he's a Man United player. Liverpool's the one I fear.
Liverpool.
It is the one I look at and think. Chelsea, I don't think it's a bit of him. And Man City aim higher than Jared Bowen. So the Declan Rice one is the one though. I've heard it today. I was looking on the Manchester United thing, and I spoke to someone today who's said to me that Man United are looking at lining up a big bid in the summer.
Declan Rice would improve any of those teams. You can look at all of them. He would improve. Even Man City, he would improve.
Any squad in the world, he could walk into that starting 11 and he'll improve it.
What about Harry Skip then?
He's out tomorrow delivering skips.
I see you in sleep just now. Why don't you just go back there and just close your eyes? You'll be all right.
Yeah, I wanted to ask you.
I bumped into Declan Rice's brother not so long ago.
Yeah.
And now I don't want to say too much because he didn't want to say too much in the start, but he was getting the right hump with all these rumours and all these talks. and he had the about the club releasing his personal contract information. You know, the one where the club lowballed him that much, and then went against him and said, "Oh well, we offered him a contract, he didn't want it." That wasn't actually the case. Declan Rice was saying, "Pay me what you owe me, what I'm worth for you to keep me at this club. Don't lowball me with this £30,000 a week offer." And the club sort of backed him into a corner, and he didn't like it, and he felt like the club were against him. And he said, and his brother said, if Declan Rice goes, the only reason why he will go is because of the club, because of the board, mainly. Not so much the players. He loves the players. He loves the fans. He loves the coach that he's playing for at the minute. He loves everything about West Ham. And if he had a choice, he doesn't want to leave, especially not yet anyway. But if it was out of the top 6 teams, who he would rather go to is Man United.
Chelsea.
That's because he doesn't even want to go back to Chelsea because of the way they treated him.
Think he
Yeah.
does.
I agree with Curtis on this one.
Their squad is, the way that their squad is, same as Man City. If he goes Man City, he's just going to be in a shadow, so to speak.
Did you say
Because
Man
there's so many
United?
quality players there. He said, at least if I go to Manchester United, not only can I improve them, not only can I make their whole midfield better, but I can make their whole play better from defensive to attack. And that would suit him more, and the club will benefit having Declan Rice.
I agree with you. I agree with you there, Curtis. I don't think he goes back to Chelsea. I think he's been massively burnt by Chelsea for releasing him.
Nah.
I really do. I think Man United would suit him to a point.
I think that'd be the stupidest thing he's ever done.
Brother as well. That's an off-camera conversation I had with his brother privately.
Man United, Man United ruined careers.
It makes sense in so many different ways, like because of how poor they are at the minute. You think, he won't be there, would he? But that would be the best move for him because
he's instant captain material, isn't he? If he goes Man United,
but he's straight into the team. He takes over the whole club. He takes over the midfield, and they progress, and then all of a sudden he looks the bollocks.
Nah, I see what you're saying, but look, Man United are ruining players year in, year out. Look at Jadon Sancho. This club.
Yeah, but Sancho's no Rice, though. Look at Sancho. His head's obviously too big.
Yeah, but
his head's obviously gone. Rice has got a wise head on young shoulders. He knows what it's about. He knows that if he goes Man United, he knows he ain't going to be.
I agree with Steve. I'd go Man City, mate. I agree.
Yeah,
with
I would
Steve.
as well.
Yeah,
definitely.
For obvious reasons, he would go. But that's Declan Rice.
Yeah, but it's like what Curtis just said there. Sorry, Curtis, to butt in, but it's like what he's just said. If he goes to Man United, he becomes an instant player, doesn't he? Like if he goes Man City, is he going to get in front of Rodri? Is he going to get in front of Gundogan in that midfield? De Bruyne, who plays in that midfield now. To me, he goes Man United. He sits as that DM and basically does that and he would be an instant captain. Like he'd take over.
Yeah.
Like you know what I mean, he's got that mentality.
I think that's. I just think that's poor. That's poor from him if he wants to go Man United out of all them teams.
No, it's not. It's not that he wants to go. He said if that was his choice out of the top 6 teams, that would be his choice, and they were the reasons why.
I just don't get it.
The best way of summing it up is out of the 2 Manchester clubs because it ain't going to be. Yeah. I don't believe it'd be Chelsea. I really don't.
I think he'll go Chelsea eventually. I just think that Mason Mount will somehow convince the board.
You think right? If he goes there and then I don't know, Tuchel goes and then another manager comes in that doesn't like Mason Mount and then gets rid of Mason Mount a couple of years later, what's he gone there for? Because now his best mate's gone. And that can happen at any time.
Yeah, but I think they're in a better position. Man United are in
they are in a better position. You know, but you think if Rice goes there with a couple more additions, do you think Man United will be in a better situation than Chelsea? 100%. Yeah, of course they would.
No, I just think everything's in the mud. United need management. I actually still think squad-wise, Man United are arguably top 2 in the league.
I think these things I think these things are going to change every bloody month. We don't know in the summer which team's going to look more likely to sign. A lot of things can happen. You can get even a transfer embargo on Chelsea or City the way they're going sometimes. You don't know with these things. But I wanted to ask one question before we close. Is David Moyes' request, alongside one or two other managers, that these rearranged fixtures shouldn't include any new signings? I totally agree with that, and I think we've known that any rearranged fixtures, you're not allowed to play any new signings because
I agree. Yeah.
Liverpool have fiddled it, which I knew they did. Tottenham, I reckon, they haven't come out with it. So just quickly go around. Mike, what do you think with that kind of thinking, mate?
I hadn't heard that. That's a really good idea, though. I completely agree with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think
No, I
so.
agree. Yeah.
I think Liverpool have come out and said that there was a mistake and there's only one person, Arnold, who had it. No one had it, and they just cancelled the game. And Premier League were happy with that.
Absolute cheating.
Yeah. Anyway, 1 hour 41, everyone. It's been really good.
It's never their fault.
Yeah, Ginger Andy's a good show, isn't it, mate? I enjoyed it. It's getting better every one we do.
Another good show.
Yeah, really good. Lots of good information and
lots of input as well. Great guests as well.
Yeah, of course. That's why we get them on. They're full of knowledge. West Ham Online, great input from you. Come on a bit more regularly, lad.
Yeah, I will.
You enjoy it? Was it good?
Yeah, I thought it was a really good show tonight. Yeah, I thought everyone's opinions I agreed with. I think we all covered everyone we wanted, really. I think one player who I've just seen pop up, which really annoyed me because I would have liked to have mentioned him earlier, but maybe I'll mention him on the next show, is Lloyd Kelly from Bournemouth. But apart from that, I think we've covered everything. I think it's been a really good show, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing 2 a week, so don't worry. Anything you forgot or Ginger Andy, anything player you forgot, we're going to touch base in about 3 days.
I mean, I've still got players I've never mentioned from the first one.
You're booking.
You know what I mean? But you've got to try and keep up with the fresh ideas. And I think, Jazz, we might have to switch it up soon. I think we may have to go 3 in a week soon.
Let's see what happens. Certainly in terms of getting different people on with their opinions. I agree with that. Yeah. James, thanks for coming in. Sorry I had you waiting, mate.
No worries, mate. No worries. I think there's a couple of good youngsters in the championship who we should be going after. That's
that Johnson from Forest, isn't it?
Brennan Johnson, who I watched on Sunday, I thought was very, very good against Arsenal, lightning quick. I think he's going to get better. And I must admit, the whole player, that Keane Lewis Potter, who I watched on Saturday against Everton, he got man of the match, and 20 years old. Reminds me of a young Jared Bowen up there. Not as good, but he's ball control and his energy is phenomenally good.
He's really good player. I like him.
Yeah, very technically good, energy, good on the ball. He's a Moyes player. Let's put it like that.
Wait, he can just run all day.
I watched him, and I'll be honest with you, I never even heard of the geezer before, and I thought, you know what, I'm going to sit there and I'm going to watch this geezer, and I didn't really watch the game, I just watched him, and very good, mate, very, very good player, and done everything right, doesn't really do a lot of mistakes, always makes angles for himself to receive the ball. If West Ham went out and said, right, we're going to go and get one of them two out of the championship with a couple of other players, I'll be over them. I really would.
Listen, I just got a thought. We should help the club. Let's all become scouts. All we want is expenses. Just pay for the bus and train, get there and back, and a burger. I think we get our notepads out.
I think the club should all give us binoculars.
Definitely. Mike, you had a good time? Thanks for joining in.
Yeah, mate. Thanks very much for inviting me, mate. Got fun. Great meeting you all, guys. Yeah.
Brilliant.
Yeah, thank you.
Great. Thanks for the viewers. A lot of chatting. They couldn't keep up with it. Brilliant show. Thanks, everyone, again. Thank you.